Imagine a room with three doors. One door says sell. One door says rent. One door says wait it out. For years, if you owned a condo in Toronto, all three of those doors were open. Any one of them led somewhere safe. Today, right now, tens of thousands of people are standing in that room, reaching for each door in turn and finding every single one locked. They can't sell because the moment they list, they lock in a loss that could follow them for a decade. They can't rent it out because the rent no longer covers what they owe. And they can't just wait because their mortgage is coming up for renewal, and the payment on the other side of that could break them. This is what it actually looks like to be trapped by the thing you were told would set you free. Today I'm going to walk you through all three walls closing in, meet the real people caught between them, and show you why this box was built long before anyone got locked inside. Let's get into it. Let's start with the first door, the one everyone reaches for first. Just sell it. Here's why that door is locked. Toronto condo prices have fallen roughly 25% since the peak back in early 2022. So if you bought anywhere near the top, selling today doesn't get you out clean. It hands you a loss in cash that you have to actually absorb. This isn't a number on a screen anymore. It's your down payment, your savings, the years you spent building it, gone the moment you sign. And I want you to meet someone standing at that locked door right now. A buyer in the Toronto area, the news called him Vitor, bought a pre-construction condo for around $675,000. He did everything right, put 20% down, waited years for it to be built. And when closing day finally came, the bank sent an appraiser who looked at the finished unit and valued it at $590,000. That gap meant Vitor stood to lose his entire deposit, well over $100,000, and possibly more. His words on camera stay with you. You put your life savings into something, and then all of a sudden it just gets taken away from you. Now here's the cruel mechanics of that first wall. When the appraisal comes in low, the bank will only lend against the lower number. So the buyer has to cover the difference in cash on closing day, or walk away and forfeit everything they've already put in. Sell, and you lose. Walk away, and you lose. There is no version of that first door that doesn't cost you. And it's not just the pre-construction crowd. Ordinary owners who've held for years are watching it too. On Reddit, one of the most shared posts in the Toronto community this year simply laid out that the average Toronto condo was on track to lose tens of thousands of dollars in value over the year, and hundreds of people piled into the comments because it wasn't abstract to them. It was their unit, their equity, quietly evaporating while they did nothing wrong. Now, to be fair, there are faint signs of life. New condo sales did bounce recently, and lower interest rates over the past year have taken a little pressure off. That's real, and I won't pretend it isn't. But that bounce is coming off the lowest base in decades, and it does absolutely nothing for the person already holding a unit that's worth less than they paid. For them, the first door stays locked. So if you can't sell without taking the hit, fine, you think. I'll just hold it and rent it out until the market comes back. That's what everyone's told to do. And that's exactly where the second door slams shut. Because in this market, renting your unit out doesn't save you. It bleeds you. Let me show you why. For 20 years, the rescue plan was simple. If you couldn't sell for the price you wanted, you rented the place out, a tenant covered your mortgage, and you waited for prices to climb again. That plan is now broken, and it's broken for a reason almost nobody saw coming. Rents are falling. The average one-bedroom in the Toronto area has actually come down over the past year, while the number of rental listings has climbed. Translation: there are more units chasing fewer tenants, so landlords are cutting rents just to fill them. And here's the kicker. For an owner who bought near the peak, even a full-price tenant doesn't come close to covering the mortgage, the condo fees, and the property tax. So every month, with a good tenant paying on time, they still lose money. The math doesn't math. You're not an investor anymore. You're just subsidizing a stranger to live in a place that's draining you. Why did this happen? Why did an entire city end up with condos that can't sell and can't rent at a profit? This is where you have to understand what these buildings were ever for. The Bank of Canada looked at exactly this and explained it plainly. For years, Toronto condos were bought as investments, and those investments only worked while the population was surging and interest rates were low. Both of those reversed. Population growth eased, rates jumped, and suddenly the condo stopped paying for itself. The whole engine that built this city ran on a bet that quietly stopped paying out. And the people caught in it aren't faceless speculators. A well-known Toronto mortgage broker, who's been documenting this collapse for over a year, put real numbers on the human wreckage. Units that sold for well over $1,000 a square foot in 2021 are now clearing at less than half that. He's watched buyers get sued, one for $860,000 for failing to close. These are nurses, tradespeople, young families who did the thing everyone swore was safe. This is absolutely brutal for anyone who trusted the plan. Now, to be fair, nobody forced these purchases. And for 2 decades, this was the smartest move in the country. The system rewarded it at every turn. This isn't about one greedy villain. It's about an entire structure that told people the safe thing to do, right up until the moment the safe thing became the trap. That's the honest way to see it. But understanding how the box was built doesn't unlock a single one of these doors. And there's a third wall these owners can feel getting closer, even while they're pinned against the first two. Their mortgage is coming up for renewal. Because here's the stat I've been holding back, the one that turns a bad situation into a genuine trap. A massive wave of Canadian mortgages, the ones locked in at rock bottom rates a few years ago, are all coming up for renewal right now, and the payments on the other side are jumping, on some by nearly half. So picture it. You can't sell, you can't rent it out at a profit, and now the one bill you can't avoid is about to climb. All 3 doors, closing at once. And this isn't just a Toronto story anymore. That renewal wave is the third wall, and it's the one nobody can negotiate with. Many households renewing now are rolling off rates that were 2 to 3 times lower than what's on offer today. One homeowner wrote that they'd done everything by the book, locked in a great rate, paid their mortgage down faster than they had to, and were still staring at a payment jumping hundreds of dollars a month. They weren't reckless. They were responsible. And the wall is closing on them anyway. Now stretch the frame out west, because the same box is being built in Vancouver. Developers there are sitting on a record pile of unsold new condos. The same investor model has seized up, and the situation got so severe that government stepped in to buy up thousands of empty units the market simply would not absorb. When the public sector has to catch what's falling, you know the private market has run out of doors too. And here's the comparison that shows you just how unusual Canada's trap really is. Look at Australia, a country with an almost identical housing story. The same investor booms, the same rate hikes. Yet fewer than 1% of Australian mortgage holders are behind on payments, and almost none of them are underwater on their homes. Think about what that means. Over there, an owner who needs out can usually sell, pay off the loan, and walk away whole. The door still opens. Here in Toronto, so many people bought a unit that didn't exist yet, at a price the market walked away from, that the door is welded shut. Same kind of boom. Completely different escape route. That's the quiet tragedy underneath all of this. In most of the world, when a housing market cools, owners still have a way out. They lose a little. They move on. We built something different here. We built a room where the walls are the 3 safest financial moves you know. Sell, rent, wait. And we turned all 3 into dead ends at the same time. For the same people. At the worst possible moment. And the ones standing in that room tonight aren't the villains of this story. They just believed what everyone told them. So let me speak to you directly, wherever you're sitting right now. If you own a condo you bought near the top, you already know which of these 3 doors you've been reaching for. And I want you to hear that you are not alone, and this was not your fault. If you're a renter, understand the strange gift buried in all of this. Falling rents and softer prices mean patience is finally on your side. If you're facing renewal, get ahead of it now. Talk to a mortgage broker before the letter arrives, not after. And if you're a first-time buyer watching from the sidelines, the math is turning your way for the first time in years. Here's the truth. An entire generation was told a condo was the safe move. And this year, tens of thousands of them woke up in a room where the exits marked sell, rent, and wait were all locked at once. That's not a market dip. That's a trap, and it was built long before anyone got caught in it. I'll be covering exactly where it goes next, every week. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.